Either way, the foundation was laid. Only time would tell whether anything came of my actions or not. I was sure that next time they'd at least remember me when they came across Kagome. Yeah, but that may not be the best thing. They're gonna remember like, oh yeah, your little boyfriend stood up for you. Shut up, you little bitch! With Kyosuke and Michael's support, we could even manage to get the rest of our class on our side. I doubt that. I doubt we're gonna lead like a revolution against the rich kids. As awesome as that'd be, like I'm 100% for it, absolutely. I doubt we're gonna lead a revolution against the rich kids. After all, every revolution starts with a single cry of protest. This school is long overdue for change. So in the midst of all the government conspiracy bullshit, we're also starting a revolution within the school. My god, there's a lot of plot lines going on here. I didn't know whether there were others oppressed the same way as Kagome. I never cared about them before. First they came for the socialists, huh? What's different now? Although, wasn't I just using these noble ideals to distance myself from my own unsolvable problems? Yeah, kinda. The corporation, my parents' death, the KGB, even Catherine. They say many great people had nasty personalities and suffered defeat after defeat in their personal lives. I didn't have time to wonder whether I had the right to think of myself as a great person, because my lunch was interrupted by an infuriated Ellie. Aha! Here you are! She jumped to my desk and leaned over me, threateningly. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed Asakura watching us with a spiteful little smirk on her face. Well, she wasn't the only one. It's not every day that the great Ellie-sama, the queen of the school, visits our classroom. Come with me. I decided not to object. After all, I also had something to discuss with her. Ellie took me to the roof. Stop. Wait. I tried to resist, knowing already that we wouldn't be able to talk in private there. She didn't even turn around. It was exactly as I thought. Kagome was on the roof too, as if she'd been waiting for us. Aha, you're here too. Ellie was surprised first, then continued in the same threatening tone. Well, you're welcome to listen in. It concerns you as well. Kagome lowered her eyes, looking like she'd been dressed down at a party meeting. What the hell were you thinking? That you're gonna attack my friends? She shouted, addressing me. I didn't attack anyone. So I'm supposed to believe you, and not them? You know what? That's a great idea. Ellie tried her best to look intimidating. It mostly resembled a boiling kettle. What? I'm saying you should be more careful with your choice of friends. How dare you? I don't know what they told you, but I looked at Kagome and went quiet. Did she even want me to say it all now to a stranger? Especially Ellie? About the black eye, the bullying. She tried so hard to look strong and hold her own to Ellie in every way. Did I have the right to discuss her problems with someone she would never tell them to herself? There was no other choice. But what? Still kept my mouth shut. You just lashed out at my friends for no reason, threatened them? You're unstable and should be isolated from normal people. Tried to scare them with the police, practically told them I was a murderer. What do you two need from me? I couldn't let this continue. I had to say something. God damn it. Fuck. Fuck. Fuck, 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 fuck. Fuck. I don't know what the right option is. Because trying not to involve Kagome could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Telling the truth could be a good thing or a bad thing. They both, I could see the pros and cons of both of them. You try not to involve Kagome, so that, like, even if you tell the truth, she's probably not gonna listen. Or like you tell the truth and he'll be like, right, Kagome, and she'll be like, no, he's no, Shit. I don't know. I'm feeling like tell the truth is the answer. I'm feeling like we go. I'm Mr. Honesty Policy here, right? It's your boy, Honesty Policy. I feel like we go tell him the truth unless the outcome is really bad. Or like I say, in case Kagome starts like denying it, being like, nope, that's not what happened. He's lying to you. Nope, I'm not involved. If that's happening, then we can like run it back and be like, I mean, what? No, she was never involved. But, I'm feeling like we told the truth. I'm clicking it. I doubt I was really protecting Kagome, but trying to shield her from Ellie's wrath. Now that your friends regularly pick on Kagome, tried to find a gentler way to say it, but eventually gave up on it. They bully and humiliate her. They even gave her a black eye. Come on, show her. Kagome proudly raised her head, but I couldn't see the black eye from this far away. So where is it? Ellie smirked. You're not the only one who knows how to use makeup. Kagome said all of a sudden. You can come closer and see if you don't believe me. If you don't believe it. But I don't need anyone's protection. She looked far less confident now. You two set it up. And why would we do that? Because you need something from me. And this is how you're blackmailing me, or something. Not to be too hard on myself, but that's too clever for me. Why would I believe you? Just because she got punched in the eye? Well, it's long overdue. Kagome didn't react in any way, but her look was scaring me more than Ellie's pretend aggression. Haven't you noticed anything about your friends? They clearly aren't the most well-behaved people. They couldn't have done that. Why would they? She replied, clearly having lost some steam. Seemed like my assumption wasn't entirely unfounded. Perhaps you really don't understand why other people would act the way they do. But they can, and they do, regardless of whether you and I understand them, because they want to. But it's nonsense. Why would they spend time on someone like her? The way Ellie was talking about Kagome was disrespectful, but Iwamura wasn't reacting. To an extent, I was even glad that she didn't really understand what was going on. If you don't care about a person, you don't bother with them. That's a better attitude than trying to inflate your ego at someone else's expense. And yes, the truth. I'd say it's strange I'm the first person to ever tell you that. After all, Kagome, I don't need your condescension. Iwamura suddenly interrupted me. I'm just trying to help. I don't want your help nor protection. You think you're somehow better than them? But you're wrong. She blurted out and ran away. I was left alone with Ellie, the situation having become even more awkward. Looks like she doesn't need your protection. Doesn't matter. I care about justice first. You don't need to have a good relationship with the oppressed to be against their oppression. Is that so? Would you be saying the same if it was someone else in her place? You don't believe me. Well, if it's between you and the girls I've known for years, the choice is obvious. What about the truth? Will you just ignore it? So far, it's been your word against theirs. Fine. I understand. What? Ellie asked, surprised. Can't prove anything now. Just keep what I said in mind. Forewarned is forearmed. If that's all, I'll go, she said after a moment, and left me on the roof in proud solitude. I returned to the classroom, sat in my chair, put my head on the desk, and covered it with my hands. Literally everything was going wrong today. And for some reason, I felt increasingly sure that it wasn't over yet. After the lessons, I long didn't want to leave the classroom, packing my thing deliberately slowly and bothering Kyosuke with the empty chatter. As if I could feel something bad was going to happen. Yeah, and so it did. There was an entire posse waiting for me at the school gate. Asakura, Kawashima, and the thugs who I, unfortunately, had already had a chance to meet. Going somewhere? I was basically trapped in a corner. There was no way out. Run away in front of the entire school? No way. It's better to get a couple of honest bruises. On the other hand, there was a little chance they'd attack me in front of other students, especially the teachers. Going home, I replied briefly. Wait a minute, we've got something to talk about. I think Himitsu wasn't around. Come on, it'll take 5 minutes. He was saying in that disgustingly friendly tone Japanese gangsters always use to throw off their victims before an attack. You'd be willing to give everything you have just to not hear this smarmy talk. I'm listening. Oh man, let's go somewhere else. Why talk in front of everyone? This place seems fine to me. You were braver this morning. Asakura smirked, and again I marveled at the fact that Ellie could ever associate with girls like them. Yeah, so you not have your painted face by now to get scared. How dare you? She took a step forward, but one of the guys stopped her. Come on, man, I just want to talk to you. You're being rude already. I know how you talk to people. I've got first-hand experience. Man, don't start. What's going on here? Exactly. A menacing voice sounded from behind my back. Ellie? Ellie-chan? Kobayashi-san. There's no exaggeration to say that Ellie saved me. What are you guys up to here? Seemingly so confident just a second ago, they all looked away. You see, Ellie, all I see is you gang up on a single person. We just wanted to talk. Oh, what, I wonder? What do you have to do with him? She looked at me like I was guilty of something, too. Nick told me about you. I should have listened. Another time, I was just worried about you. And you were going to express your worry by attacking everyone I know who isn't you? But you said yourself that I've said a lot. She got embarrassed for a second, but quickly recovered and continued in the same confident tone. I'm capable of deciding who I talk to. I don't need your approval or your help. Indeed, help can be very unwelcome. Ellie, but I'm done talking about it. The brave Sonderkommando had no choice but to leave the field of their potential battle with heads lowered. Thank you. Once we were left alone, I expressed my sincere gratitude to Ellie. If you think I did it for you... Oh, come on. Fine. She smiled and her cheeks reddened slightly. They really were in the wrong here. Surprised you've never noticed before. You know, whatever you might think, I don't have much of a choice of friends. You don't? My position imposes certain obligations. It doesn't seem to bother you much when you jump around on stage with a guitar. It's not the same. She protested fiercely. Yeah? What's the difference? The difference is... I don't know. You should thank me for saving you. I did, yeah. Oh. Right. I'm not the real problem. There are people who get it way worse from them. Like who? Like Kagome. Of course. It's wrong that they picked on you, but the way you handled Kawashima yesterday... Open your eyes, Your Highness. Real life is happening all around you. And in real life, even beggars have problems created by rich kids. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that yesterday. I don't really think that. I believe you. It's just that people have different hobbies. You play music, and they bully people. Don't joke about that. I was sounding less and less confident. Think about it. Why would I lie? What for? How would they bully your friend? Do you want my professional opinion as a psychologist? I asked snidely. I don't know why. I don't need to know that. I don't need to know them any more than an antelope needs to know why the lion is chasing it. You're just projecting. I'm just saying that people can be different. I said nothing and turned away, as if searching for something in the now noticeably thinner flow of students on their way home. Still can't believe you never noticed anything earlier. Even if I had, is that important now? She smiled sadly. You know, I'm not a judge. You don't need to explain yourself to me. I'm not. Suddenly, all hostility disappeared from her voice. Maybe I just want to convince myself everything's fine. Is it working? Not really. Ellie finally looked at me and smiled. Sorry. I'll talk to them. It won't ever happen again. Don't make promises for other people. They'll listen to me, she proclaimed with a confidence out of nowhere. I hope so. Just recently, and with almost the same confidence she had been trying to convince me that her friends were completely innocent. How many more wondrous discoveries the world had prepared for this Ojo-sama. For now, I hope your friends aren't waiting for me around the corner. Want me to see you home? No way. Then goodbye. See you around. See ya. I knew that after Ellie chastised them, I had nothing to worry about for a day or so. I still spent the walk home glancing over my shoulder. I stopped at the gate and looked at Himitsu's house. What would I have done had she been there? Maybe somewhere deep inside, I actually wanted to find Himitsu in the kitchen making dinner. Despite everything that had happened the past few days, despite our fight and my behavior, just to forget about real life for an hour and immerse myself in that magic world Ellie must be living in. But the person at the dinner table wasn't Himitsu. Oh. I was fully expecting it to be Mr. Kobayashi just to be like, you motherfucker. It was Irina, sitting cross-legged. Finally, I've grown tired of waiting. She smiled cutely as she saw me. Almost as cutely as that time in the bar. Now her careless hospitality was accompanied by notes of business-like focus and desire to keep a polite distance. Wasn't expecting you this early. You should have. She frowned and seemingly turned into a different person. It's only been 3 days. You managed to create such a stir. What exactly is so confusing about the words behave normally, Nikolai? I don't know what you're talking about. I lied, but still looked away. Her observant gaze was piercing right through me. Yes, you do. First, you got involved with that girl, Akira. Iwamura. I specified, realizing that there was no point denying it. So I was being followed after all. And apparently by professionals. It's the fucking KGB. Yeah, professionals. Iwamura, whatever. We've been working on her father for a while now. Do you know where he is? Is he alive? Are you worried about her? As a real intelligence officer, Irina immediately seized on a weakness. I was in her shoes once, so I know how she feels. Isn't that enough? I was doing my best to speak calmly, at the same time trying to find opportunities to glance around for her accomplices. I doubt she'd come here alone. And yet she's luckier than you. Her father is alive. For now. A warm feeling spread in my chest. I hoped that somehow things would end well. How is information about Kagome's father so important to me? I see you're happy. Trying to think about someone other than myself. Why, that is wonderful! She exclaimed in a dramatically loud and cheerful tone. Love for the motherland begins with love for your neighbor. Here you go with the motherland again. I've already told you I know nothing about my father's work. Irina frowned and fidgeted in her seat. About that. What's her name? Iwamura, you said? I nodded. I agree with you about Iwamura. She doesn't know anything. Really? I let out an uncontrollable laugh, but the woman didn't react. You mean you suspect me? No, not even like that. You're still accusing me, but you believed her immediately without even investigating. Why do you think we haven't investigated her? It really wasn't the best time to question her about the KGB's methods. You want me to stop communicating with her? Oh no, quite the contrary. I'd never forgive myself if your date tonight was cancelled because of me. So you know about that too. I grumbled grimly. We know a lot, and what we don't, we soon will. Lines straight off of the propaganda posters seeped into her speech again. Except it's not a date. If you're waiting for someone else, I'm afraid he won't come. Ichino-san's open, friendly face appeared before my eyes, sending shivers down my spine. You've invited your acquaintance for a little talk. His papers didn't prove very interesting, however. Is Ichino-san alive? I asked, afraid to look her in the eyes. We're not animals, Nikolai. What do you take us for? To be honest, at this moment I saw no real difference between the KGB, the Americans, and the corporation. When you can't judge a threat accurately, an asteroid about to crash into the Earth is about as dangerous as a lion laying in ambush. Or vice versa. Irina was trying to assure me that in the end everything was for my own good, and the fact that both of us were Russian had to mean something. But if I put all sentiment aside, this woman was as alien to me as Kobayashi Jun. What do you want from me? She squinted slyly and fixed her hair. You've been seen in the company of the granddaughter of Kobayashi Corporation's chairman. How come you know so much about my life? I exclaimed, losing every remaining idea of what was going on. Do you have your spies behind every tree or something? Should look for bugs around the house? No need, she replied coldly. Fine. If you think Uemura knows nothing, what's different about Ellie? You think her grandfather lets her in on his business? No? You've an eye on her as well? Would you look at that? I didn't expect that of you, Nikolai. Well, great achievements require ambitious goals. We could use our own man in the Kobayashi family. Jesus Christ, are you serious right now? I put my head in my hands, walked to the refrigerator, opened it, and took out a bottle of milk that turned out to be long expired. In any case, you've neglected my warning, she continued in a more serious tone. But it also happens that you found yourself in quite an interesting position, a position beneficial to us. Nobody knows if you'll actually get anything out of Kobayashi's granddaughter, but we can't rule out the possibility. As for Iwamura, since her father's out of reach for now, it seems logical to look after his daughter, and the closer we are, the better. I don't remember you hiring me. We'll list you as a freelance operative. I need some time to think, I said carefully. Do you really believe you have a choice? She pulled out one of the smiles in her endless arsenal, this one mysterious and as such frightening. I'll give you some time to collect your thoughts and process all this new information, but remember, you won't get much. And don't forget, we are close by. And with that, she stood up and walked past me into the corridor, as if she'd forgotten I exist. Breathed out heavily and dropped to the chair Irina had just been sitting in. Had Comrade Major really come alone? Whether I had a choice or not, she was right about one thing. I had to decide quickly. And at that moment, I saw no alternatives. The storm my life had become was throwing me from one black rock onto another. From Kagome to Ellie, from Ellie to Kobayashi Corporation, from there, directly into the loving arms of the KGB Major Irina Mostovaya. At least they didn't suspect Kagome of anything. Did I believe that? In any case, now I felt we were bound by our common misfortune. I had to tell her about the Soviets. Tokyo at night seemed different after Irina's visit. People were casting suspicious, askew glances at me. Sinister shadows were jumping along the walls of every house, and the enemy was behind every corner. I was paranoid to the point where even regular car horns made me jump. But no matter how hard I tried, I never managed to see my real pursuers. Maybe worrying so much wasn't even worth it if the KGB knew where I was going and who I was meeting anyway. train car lazily spat out the last half-asleep passengers at the station closest to the meeting point. This time there was no point in coming out earlier, so I arrived 40 minutes before the agreed hour. It was unbearable to just stand on the bridge, so I just kept walking in circles, waiting for Kagome. Then, 5 minutes before midnight, she finally appeared. "You're early," she noted grimly, like she was commenting on a prisoner who showed up early to his execution and was beaming with enthusiasm. "I just got here." I lied, not even knowing why. "Sorry for today's episode on the roof. I really didn't want it to end like that." "Never mind. Does it matter now? Let's go. We shouldn't make Ichinose-san wait." "About that." I scratched my neck, collecting my thoughts. "He won't come." "What do you mean he won't come?" Kagome asked with genuine surprise. "I should have told you everything earlier, but I didn't want to create even more problems for you." In reality, I, of course, hadn't wanted to create more problems for myself, knowing how she'd react. But it was too late to hide anything now. "Promise that you're going to listen to me and won't jump to conclusions." "Spit it out already." "Last Sunday I came across a woman. A Russian. She works for the KGB. Naturally left out the circumstances under which I met Irina. Yeah, probably for the best. She needed information about my father's work, some documents, and so on. Obviously I didn't tell her anything because I didn't know anything. I was let go with an order to keep my head down." "That easily?" Kagome asked in an unexpectedly calm tone. "Yeah, that easily. What else could they get out of me?" "And naturally you didn't find it necessary to share this information with me." "These people don't joke around. The less you know, the better." "Somehow it seems to me that's not the entire story." "Yeah, you see," I smiled idiotically and suddenly realized I'd scratched my neck bloody. "Ooh. That woman, her name is Irina. She came to my place again today, and this time she told me more. That they've been spying on you and your father, too. They don't suspect you of anything. I waved my hands to emphasize that point. She told me that your father is alive. Of course, they don't know where he is or what happened to him." Kagome's face got redder and redder with every word. "And you're only telling me all this now? I only found out a couple hours ago, I swear." "So this whole time your KGB has been after us." "It's not mine," I said carefully. "And you knew about it and kept quiet." "I didn't know anything." "What if you're with them? What if this is a trick to... She got so angry that she was just huffing and puffing, unable to say a word. "Would you listen to yourself for once? I told you the truth. What do I get? Your hysterics aren't going to help here." "Hysterics?" The way she laughed was actually intimidating. "It's not your father who's been kidnapped and held hostage. It's not you the KGB is spying on." "It is, actually." "It's not you who has to enter school every day like it's battlefield, and then work at a restaurant till night to make a living." Kagome realized she'd gotten carried away, bit her lip, and lowered her head. "Sorry, I understand you're having it rough." "Yeah, sure you do." "And you know what? I'm alone in this country, and now I have no idea what to believe or who to blame for my parents' death. You think no one understands your suffering? Well, maybe you're right. But you know, everyone looks at life from their own little bubble. You probably think someone else's issues are trivial, but to them they're vital. In the same way, some people would look at you right now and only laugh." "I guess you're right," Kagome replied unexpectedly softly. "I just get tired of living under the pressure of responsibility all the time. Tired of the endless attacks. Before, I was managing to hold on somehow. I knew my father had it hard and really needs support. But who's going to support me, now that he's not here?" "I'll be back." That's all I managed to force out. To be honest, I really don't know what to say. I'm not sure my words would change anything at all. Sorry, I should have told you about the KGB right away. As my mom used to say, lies always come to light. Kagome smiled. "Yeah, mine used to say something like that too." "So what about Ichinose?" She sniffled and wiped her eyes. Irina said that they took him in. There was nothing interesting in his papers. "But is he okay?" "If we take her word for it." "Would you?" I recalled the sly smirk on Irina's face. It seemed that she hadn't been lying openly, but instead skillfully manipulating facts, giving them out in tiny portions, and presenting them in the light that best benefited her. Most likely, Ichinose really was alive. There's no point in lying about that. If they'd killed him, it'd serve as a nice warning to us. And trying to help me and Kagome, why? I think in this case she was telling the truth. I just wonder how much easier her truth makes things for Ichinose himself. Or my father. Your father's way more important to them. I'd like to believe so. A sudden gust of wind made Kagome shiver. Anyway, there's nobody to wait for here. See you. Wait, I'll walk you to your place. I'll manage, she replied without a hint of anger. It's not a polite gesture. They're probably following you, and me. I never noticed them, and I don't want to repeat the mistake. As you wish. Hell yeah. Kagome shrugged her shoulders and quickly walked towards the restaurant.